Hello everyone, and welcome to DIY Friday with the Mount Airy Branch Library. My name is Carrie. I'm the teen librarian at the Mount Airy Branch Library, part of Carroll County Public Library. And today, our DIY Friday is going to be a journal. I've been inspired by some really great summer reads. These are books that I'm excited about and going to be reading this summer. Sometimes when we think about summer reading, we think about super quick books and light and happy books. I like to go the opposite direction. These are all really great YA books that I'd highly recommend, but they take a deeper delve. Some of them are a little dark, but some of them are funny. Some of them are very lovelorn. So they're really a lot of fun if you want to escape whatever is going around you in your household. So if you want to be able to hide and delve into a deeper book than just some of your typical quick summer reads, these are great recommendations for that. The first one, I'll start with Dear Haiti, Love Elaine. It's written by Meka and Maritza Muley. They are sisters. This is their debut author. They are debut authors with this novel. They wrote the book together, and it's really so fantastic. They're really fantastic writers. They're really witty and funny. So Elaine, the main character in the book, has had an incident at school. She's acted out in a way that almost gets her expelled. Her mom has also had some drama in her life recently. So they kind of escape and go to Haiti. So this is a country where both of her parents are from, and her mom are going there to stay with their aunt to kind of escape all the drama that they've really created for themselves and their lives back home. And while Elaine's there with her mom, she learns a ton about herself and her family's history. But what I really love about this book is that Haiti, the country, is almost like a character. It sounds so beautiful and so amazing and so rich, with history and it's really written in a really beautiful way. And since we can't travel right now, it's a great escape to think about other places. This book is told in epistolary style, which is really just a fancy word for it being told in letters. So in this case, there are emails, articles, postcards, diary entries, that sort of thing. So that really inspired me for our activity, our craft today, to make a journal. So even though Dear Haiti, Love Elaine, it deals with some heavier issues and topics, but really Elaine is so witty and sarcastic. The book is super entertaining, and it's just a really great escape if you're looking for something a little longer to escape into. The Grief Keeper, I'll move to next, by Alexandra Villasante. As the title implies, this is a much heavier, darker, really even creepy, kind of eerie book. It's mostly realistic, but it's also part almost science fiction and futuristic. So the main character, Marisol, she is from El Salvador, and her little sister are seeking asylum in the United States of America. So she's had a lot of trauma of her own. She never expected that she'd leave her home country, but her brother has been killed. They're trying to kill her little sister. Her little sister's life is in danger as well. So her and her sister travel to America, and along the way they are caught. And as part of a bargaining tool for her and her sister to be able to stay in America and not be deported back to El Salvador, they've kind of given her this option to be submitted to this experimental science where she can take on another person's grief. So it's almost an experimental situation where they're taking people who have PTSD from being traumatized, and they're unburdening all of that onto another person. So Marisol would not only be carrying her trauma, but also the trauma of another person. So there's a lot of danger and darkness. It's pretty eerie. But there's also a lot about family. There's also romance in it. So it's really a multi-layered book that you can read for a long time. And just really, I highly recommend it. And then the last one I'm going to tell you about, 19 Love Songs by David Levithan. David Levithan is an amazing author. He's written a lot of other books before, and this book is set up like a playlist of short stories all about love. So if you're yearning for romance or quiet contemplation of what it means to love and be loved, this is a really great collection for you. So some of the characters from his other books, Two Boys Kissing and Boy Meets Boy, they appear in their own short stories in here. And all of the stories vary between different types of love and different relationships. And the characters that they represent in them are a really diverse group of characters. But they're all really witty and heartfelt. And it's really a great read if you want the depth of feeling, but not the length of some of these other longer novels to dive into. But you really can escape into 19 Love Songs as well. So our craft for today, the journal, before we get started, you're going to want to make sure that you have paper, scissors, needle and thread, cardstock, and anything that you want to decorate your journal with. You could have markers, stickers, stamps, whatever you like. And you don't have to be really particular with what type of paper or needle and thread. Just use whatever you have around your house. I used for mine kind of a basic white paper that had a little bit of texture to it, and then this brown cardstock. If you don't have cardstock in your house, you could use kind of a upcycle a cereal box. It would be a little bit heavier texture than what I used. It might be a little bit harder to sew, but that would be a good option as well. Or you could just make paper on the outside. That is up to you. But step one, you want to cut your paper and your cardstock to the same size. So the paper is going to become your pages inside your journal, and the cardstock is going to be your journal cover. So take 4, maybe 3 or 4, depending on the thickness of your paper pages, and just layer them on top of each other, fold them in half, and then right down the center of that fold, you'll want to pre-pierce the pages with a needle, just to make holes so it's easier to sew together when we come to binding it. And then the next step you're going to do, you're going to thread your needle and thread, and you're going to use these pre-pierced holes to sew the pages together. You don't need to be an amazing sewer to do this project. I am not amazing at sewing. It's pretty simple. I used maybe about 18 inches of thread doubled over and kind of knotted it at the end so it wouldn't pull through the pages. But just go up and down the center fold there and sew your pages together. And then you want to repeat that step and make several little booklets. So again, take 3, 4, 5 pages of the paper that you have, depending on how many pages you want your final notebook to have, and fold them in half, pierce them with the needle, and then sew them together. And once you have your booklets done, all of your pages done, they're all kind of bound in these individual little booklets, you're going to take your cardstock and do the same thing. You're going to fold it in half, pre-pierce holes right along the center. And it's helpful if you try to keep those holes generally in the same place that you put the holes in your pages as well. That way the pages will line up with the cover. And then the next step, take one booklet, start with one at a time, and just start sewing them into the cardstock using those pre-pierced holes again. So you're using the same holes in the pages that you sewed through before, and then sewing them into the pre-pierced holes in the cardstock. And then you'll just want to repeat that step again until all of your booklets are sewn into the cardstock. And then you can decorate your booklet however you like. You can see with my booklet, to kind of cover up some of my messy sewing, I had some green craft tape that I did along the spine there. That'll also help it hold together a little bit better, but really it's mostly decorative, and decorate it however you like. And then you have your journal for the summer. You can use it as a reading log, a diary, whatever you like. So these are the books again that inspired me: Dear Haiti, Love Elaine, The Grief Keeper, and 19 Love Songs. They're all great YA books that we have here at Carroll County Public Library. We do have our express service, so you can place a hold and get the physical copies of these books and pick them up using our express service with an appointment time. Or you can check out our online resources through Libby and through Overdrive and Hoopla. and check these out in ebook format as well. If you haven't already, I highly encourage you to go to our website and sign up for our summer reading program as well. Imagine Your Story is the theme this year. We have a lot of other great reading recommendations on our summer reading program webpage. I've highlighted grades 9 through 12, so they're comparable to the books I showed you today. But if none of those appeal to you, we have a lot of reading lists there for recommendations. And definitely sign up for the summer reading program because we are doing prizes at the end and raffles every single week through the summer if you're participating in that. So that's really fantastic. And thank you for joining me today for DIY Friday with the Mount Airy Branch Library. Next time, July 17th, we'll have Miss Maria doing a craft and activity with you. So enjoy your weekend and thank you for joining me today.